Hello, this is DeEtta Jones, and I'd like to take a couple of minutes today and talk some about this language new normal. The language new normal is being used over and over and over again as people describe what we're living through right now. I would like to suggest that a global pandemic is not normal. There's nothing normal about this. It's tragic. It's real. It's filled with uncertainty. But normal is not where we are right now. Normal or new normal is where we're going to be on the other side of this global pandemic, right? That will be new normal. And I'm going to encourage you to think about shifting your language if you find yourself using the language new normal, because normal not only is kind of concretizing an idea in your own mind, but it's also conveying messages to people around you that probably are not helping with current levels of fear and anxiety, right? What we're living through right now is temporary. And it's important for people to understand that it's anxiety inducing enough for adults to live through so much uncertainty, to live through ambiguity, to be in situations where we don't have control over what's happening to us or around us or to people who we love. But let's make sure that we try not to make that more permanent or bigger than it is by using language like new normal. So let's just think about ways that we might be able to position our messaging and also start to kind of center ourselves when we're thinking about how it is that we not just think about this situation that we're in, but also communicate it to other people. The first thing I'd invite you to do is reframe. Reframe your own thinking. Reframe your thinking about this as something that is catastrophic and filled with uncertainty and fear inducing, which it is, but also couple that with some of the positive sorts of attributes associated with what we're learning right now. Let me give you an example. The last couple of years, especially in the United States, but in many parts of the world, have been filled with polarization, polarizing ideas, polarizing language, hate-filled acts, tragic experiences for a lot of people, a lot of organizations across a lot of industries. But the last couple of weeks have been filled with demonstrations of generosity and human kindness. Now, it's terrible that we have to have such a tragic situation around us, but that's something to focus on. The fact that there's so much human goodness, so much compassion, so much care, so much consideration that we're all not just experiencing, but demonstrating and benefiting from is a really wonderful thing to focus on. To also remember that for a lot of us, the pace of life have been so overwhelming and so out of control for so long that to be forced to suddenly stop seems like a pretty tragic and extreme situation. This also might be an opportunity to pick up on some projects that you've been meaning to get to, maybe learn something new, reconnect with your family, reconnect with yourself. Think about some of the things that you've been meaning to do, but you can't do because your lifestyle is too chaotic, like practicing some new eating habits or taking up mindfulness meditation. Think about some of the opportunities and experiences that could be more inspiring that are associated with what you're going through right now. The second thing that I'll invite you to do is to shift away from thinking about this as normal. It's not. This is absolutely temporary, right? Normal implies stick-to-itiveness. It implies that we are going to be here for a while, which we are absolutely not, right? But normal is on the other side of where we are now. And new normal is that aspirational normal that we want to get to. And oh, by the way, that we can start building together right now. And so start shifting your mind and shifting your language and shifting your conversations to thinking about and talking about and planning for what are we going to be on the other side of this? How are we going to treat each other? What are some of the things that we are going to appreciate more? What are some of the things that we are going to have learned during this experience that are going to be beneficial for us? What are some of the systems and structures and procedures and behaviors that we thought were sacred cows, but that we have actually learned to do differently and maybe even better in ways that are more equitable because of this experience? Think about what some of those are and start planning for that new normal and making sure that the values associated with where we have been and who we always are and those that are so prominent right now are centered in that new normal. Here's why that's so important. Because humans like to have control over ourselves and to some extent over the environment right around us, right? Things that are having implications for us. And so being able to start crafting the essence of and some of the tenets of our new normal is a way to start wielding control, to start saying, we might not be able to control all of what's happening now, but we can control what we learn from it. We can control how it is that we start planning for a future that's better than where we are now, and even better than where we've been in the past. The third thing that I'll invite you to do is to widen your lenses. The last couple of weeks have been really tough, and people have been hunkering down and thinking about themselves, thinking about their health and well-being, or their family's health and well-being, thinking about their financial realities, thinking about the fact that they don't have control over their, kind of freedom and flexibility to move around, etc., feeling isolated potentially, feeling like you're being underproductive or underutilized in your workplace, whatever it is, right? That's real. And now I invite you to widen your lenses. I invite you to look up and around and think about ways in which you might be of service. What is it that you could do to be helpful, right? Even if it's getting together a group of folks for a virtual book club meeting, or getting together your family once a week and you organize and then you have a topic or some fun thing that you do together, right? Or where you are thinking about ways to be of service, like sewing masks or surgical-like caps for all these healthcare providers who are out here who are desperately in need of PPE. What is it that you can do to see yourself as part of a solution, could see yourself as contributing, right? There's nothing like being able to shift one's energy away from just feeling sorry for ourselves and looking in on all of the things that are losses or scary or uncertain in our own reality, but instead seeing ourselves as connected to a world of other people in a way that helps us to bring about meaning and helps us to also be able to make sure that our energy is going in places that are productive and filled with the kind of virtuous learning that only occurs when you're doing on behalf of others and in the spirit of helping. I encourage you to start thinking about ways that you can begin to, this week and right now, starting to shift some of the ways in which you're engaging around this virus, and also starting to build some hopeful strategies for getting you through, and practical strategies, practiced strategies that will get you through this experience and also be sustainable beyond it. One of the things that we have recently developed and we're rolling out this week is an online course on well-being and morale. And it is specifically designed to help people who have been probably thinking about your own well-being and well-being, generally speaking, for a long time, but just haven't had enough time to get to it. Well, here you go. Now, hopefully you have not just a little bit more flexibility as far as your schedule, but also a different maybe sense of urgency and a different need. So go ahead and enroll in our online course and give yourself the structured experience of being able to really focus, to be able to look more holistically at yourself and as the way in which you are setting yourself up for good and consistent and healthy and sustainable practices that will also have a positive impact on your workplace. We also have an array of other online courses for those of you who are looking for professional development experiences. You want to learn something new, or you want to be connected to other people real time who are going through similar situations across different institutions or industries. And so we have an array of other online experiences that are very timely and meant to really not just help give you content and resources, but also connection to other people in ways that allow you to share strategies and also to have some support as we get through this global pandemic together. Listen, folks, we're going to do this. This is temporary. This is not our new normal, but I'm really excited about the conversations that have already started about where we want to be and what we want to become on the other side of this. I'm also incredibly inspired and hopeful because of the great shows of generosity and human kindness that I see all around us. I want to thank you for all the well wishes. I want to thank you for all the generosity of spirit, and I want you all to be well.